They sold me an armored warship for 7 credits, the Galaxy. Regretted it Part 1. The scrapyard moon smelled like rust and death. Part Doyen had worked here for 6 years. He was a human, and in this galaxy, humans were nothing. They were slaves. They were property. They were too stupid to matter, at least. That is what the aliens believed. Do-hyun pushed his cart through the endless rows of broken ships. His hands were rough from years of work. His back hurt from carrying heavy metal. But his mind was sharp. Sharper than anyone knew. He had learned everything about alien ships. He knew their engines. He knew their weapons. He knew their secrets. But he pretended to be stupid. He kept his head down. He waited. For what? He did not know. But he waited. The supervisor was a Maveri named Gorduk. He had 4 arms and green skin and a face that always looked angry. He hated humans most of all. "Faster, animal," Gorduk shouted at Doyen. "Sector 7 needs cleaning. Go there now." Doyen nodded and said nothing. Sector 7 was the cursed section. No alien workers would go there. They said strange things happened in that place. Lights that should not exist. Sounds that came from nowhere. Doyen did not believe in curses. He believed in work. He walked for 30 minutes to reach Sector 7. The scrap here was older than anywhere else. Some of these ships had been dead for thousands of years. Do-hyun began moving pieces of metal, sorting what could be sold from what was truly garbage. Then he saw it. Under a mountain of old hull plates, there was something different. The metal was black. Not painted black, but truly black. It seemed to eat the light around it. Do-hyun had never seen anything like it. He worked for 3 hours to clear the debris. When he finally saw the full shape, his heart stopped. It was a ship. A warship. And it was massive. The design matched nothing in any database he had ever seen. The hull had no marks, no damage, no rust. After thousands of years in a junkyard, it looked perfect. Do-hyun found an entrance. The door was sealed, but when he touched it, something happened. A light scanned his hand, then his face, then something deeper, something he could not see. The door opened. Inside. The ship was dark but clean. Do-hyun walked through empty corridors until he reached what must be the bridge. There was a single chair in the center. Screens surrounded it, all dead and dark. He sat in the chair. He did not know why. It just felt right. The moment he touched the armrest, the ship woke up. Lights came on everywhere. Screens flickered to life. And a voice spoke. Pilot detected. Species confirmed as human. Authorization level Omega 7. Welcome aboard the Silent Fury, Lieutenant. You are 12,000 years late for your deployment. The voice was female. Calm and warm, like a teacher speaking to a student. Do-hyun could not speak. His mouth opened but no words came out. "I am Nari," the voice continued. "I am the artificial intelligence of this vessel. I have been waiting for a human pilot for a very long time. I am pleased to finally meet you." "What?" Do-hyun finally found his voice. "What is this ship?" "The Silent Fury is a Dreadnought-class warship of the human empire. We were the most powerful force in the galaxy. Our weapons are beyond anything that exists today. Our shields can stop any attack. Our engines can cross the galaxy in days." Do-hyun shook his head. "That is impossible. Humans are. We are nothing. We are slaves." "That is what they want you to believe," Nari said. Her voice became sad. 12,000 years ago, humans ruled 1/3 of the galaxy. We were not conquerors. We were protectors. We lifted up other species. We taught them. We cared for them. What happened? Betrayal. The species we helped turned against us. They used a weapon that killed almost all humans. The survivors were scattered to primitive worlds. Their memories were erased. Their history was buried. Earth was one of those worlds. Do-hyun sat in silence. His whole life, he'd been told he was nothing, that his species was worthless, that humans were born to serve, that it was all a lie. The ship, he said slowly. It is not in any database. The pricing system. He ran to a terminal and checked the scrapyard records. The automated system had scanned the Silent Fury and found no power signature. It had calculated the price based on weight alone. 7 credits. The ship was listed at 7 credits. Do-hyun had exactly 7 credits. 6 years of saving every small payment. 6 years of eating less so he could keep a few coins. He bought the ship. An hour later, Gordik arrived with security forces. Someone had noticed the power readings from Sector 7. What have you done, human? Gordik demanded. What did you wake up? Do-hyun was sitting in the captain's chair. For the first time in 6 years, he smiled. I bought a ship, he said. For 7 credits. Gordik laughed. You own nothing. You are property. Everything you have belongs to us. Nari, Do-hyun said calmly. Show them what they sold me. The Silent Fury rose from the scrapyard. Its true size became clear as junk fell away from its hull. 2 kilometers of ancient human engineering. Black as the void between stars. Beautiful and terrible. Every alarm on the moon began screaming. Gordik fell to his knees. His forearms trembled. That is impossible. Tell your masters, Do-hyun said as the ship began to rise toward the stars. Tell them a human has come home. Tell them the galaxy is about to change. The Silent Fury disappeared into the darkness of space, and the galaxy began to fear. They sold me an armored warship for 7 credits. The galaxy regretted it. Part 2. 3 months passed. Do-hyun was now the most wanted being in the galaxy. The Galactic Compact put a bounty on his head. 50 billion credits for him. 200 billion for the ship. Every hunter, every mercenary, every military fleet was searching for the Silent Fury. They never found it. The ship was too fast. Its stealth systems were too advanced. Do-hyun moved like a ghost through the stars, but he was not hiding. He was learning. Every day, Nari taught him more about the ship, about its weapons, about its history, about what humanity used to be. Do-hyun absorbed everything like a man dying of thirst finally given water. He also learned about the galaxy as it was now. Millions of humans were still slaves. They worked in mines. They served in houses. They died in gladiator arenas for alien entertainment. This knowledge burned inside him like fire. One night, the ship detected a signal. A slave transport was moving through the rim territories. 40 humans inside, heading for a mining colony where workers usually died within 2 years. Do-hyun did not hesitate. The Silent Fury dropped out of hyperspace directly in front of the transport. The slavers tried to run. They did not get far. Do-hyun disabled their engines with a single precise shot. He boarded the ship alone. The slavers had weapons, but they had never seen a human fight back. They had never seen a human with rage in his eyes instead of fear. When it was over, 40 humans stood free for the first time in their lives. One of them was different from the others. A woman, maybe 28 years old. She had scars on her arms and fire in her eyes. While the other freed slaves looked confused and scared, she looked angry. Who are you? She demanded. My name is Do-hyun. Park Do-hyun. The one with the ghost ship. The one they call the human devil. Do-hyun almost laughed. They call me that? They call you many things. Most of them are insults. But the slaves. She paused. The slaves call you Hope. Her name was Yoon Jisoo. She had been a resistance fighter on a human colony world. For 3 years, she had organized escapes and attacks against the alien masters. Then she was captured. She was being sent to the mines as punishment. "I want to join you," she said. It was not a request. "It is dangerous. The whole galaxy hunts me. I have been hunted my whole life. At least now I can hunt back." Do-hyun looked at this woman with her scars and her burning eyes. He saw himself in her. The same anger. The same refusal to accept the lie that humans were nothing. "Welcome to the Silent Fury," he said. Jisoo became his first crew member. She was different from Do-hyun. He was patient and quiet. She was fierce and loud. They argued constantly. "We should attack the compact directly," Jisoo said one night. "Hit their stations. Destroy their fleets. Make them fear us. We are one ship," Do-hyun replied. "We cannot fight the whole galaxy. Then what is the point? We run forever while our people suffer?" Do-hyun had no good answer. But Nari did. "There's a human colony on Corinth 4, the AI said. 40,000 humans held in forced labor camps. It is one of the largest slave populations in the Rim." Jisoo turned to Do-hyun. Her eyes were wet with unshed tears. "That is my home world. My family died there. My friends are still trapped." Do-hyun knew what she was asking. An attack on Corinth 4 would expose them. The compact would send everything they had. But he also knew he could not say no. "Nari," he said. "Set course for Corinth 4. The Silent Fury arrived at dawn. Below, the planet was brown and dead. The mines had poisoned everything. 40,000 humans worked 18 hours a day, digging ore for alien factories. A defense fleet waited in orbit. 200 ships. The commander laughed when he saw only one vessel approaching. "One ship?" he broadcast to his fleet. "The famous human devil brings one ship? Destroy it." 200 ships opened fire. Missiles and energy beams filled the space around the Silent Fury. None of them hit. The ship's shields absorbed everything. The ancient human technology was 12,000 years ahead of anything the compact had. Their best weapons were like throwing stones at a mountain. "My turn," Do-hyun said quietly. He did not want to kill. He had promised himself he would be better than those who enslaved his people. So he targeted engines. He targeted weapons. He disabled ships instead of destroying them. 11 minutes. That is how long the battle lasted. 200 ships drifted powerless in space. Not one life lost. Jisoo stared at the screens with her mouth open. "How? How is this possible?" "Because we built those ships," Nari said with pride in her voice. "We taught those species everything they know. They forgot that the student never surpasses the master who is still alive." Do-hyun broadcast a message to the planet below. "All humans of Corinth 4, you are free. Ships will arrive to take you to safety. No one will ever own you again." Then he broadcast a message to the galaxy. His face appeared on every screen, in every system, on every world. "This is Park Do-hyun of the Silent Fury. For 12,000 years, you have enslaved my people. You have made us believe we were nothing. That was a lie. We remember what we were. We know what you did. This is your only warning. Free every human you hold, or I will come for them myself." The transmission ended. The galaxy was silent. Then something unexpected happened. A signal reached the Silent Fury. It was old, ancient, using encryption that only human ships would recognize. Nari processed the signal. When she spoke again, her voice trembled with something like joy. "Do-hyun, there are more ships. 7 more of the original fleet. They have been hiding for 12,000 years, waiting for a human to wake them. And now they are waking up." Do-hyun looked at Jisoo. She looked at him. They were no longer alone. "They sold me an armored warship for 7 credits. The galaxy regretted it. Part 3. The signals led them to the forgotten sectors. These were regions of space so old that even the compact's map showed nothing. Empty darkness on every chart. But they were not empty. thought the first ship was hidden inside a gas giant. Its name was Iron Dawn, and its eye was called Taiwu. He spoke in a cold, logical voice. He had spent 12,000 years calculating battle strategies, preparing for a war that never came. Finally, Taiwu said when Do-yoon connected their systems. A pilot. I was beginning to think humanity was truly gone. The second ship orbited a black hole. The Crimson Veil was a stealth ship, designed for assassination and secret attacks. Its eye was Yoonji, and she had a dark sense of humor that made even Jisoo uncomfortable. 12,000 years of silence, Eunji said. Do you have any idea how boring that was? Please tell me we get to kill something soon. One by one, they found them all. Heaven's Wrath, the heavy weapons platform, with an AI named Sunwoo, who treated every human like a child he needed to protect. Silent Arrow, the scout ship, with young-sounding Mirei, who asked endless questions about the modern galaxy. Last Like, the carrier ship, with weary old Kyung-ho, who had seen too much and forgotten too little. The seventh ship was different. Broken Promise had been damaged in the ancient war. Its Ai Sujin spoke in fragments. Her sentences cut off randomly. Her memory had holes. But she tried so hard to be useful that it broke Do-hyun's heart. I remember. The fall, Sujin said. I remember screaming. So much screaming. I could not save them. I could not. You saved yourself, Do-hyun told her gently. You waited for us. That is enough. The eighth ship was the greatest of all. Eternal Defiance was a flagship, larger even than the Silent Fury. Its eye was Hajin, and he was not like the others. He carried the personality imprint of an ancient human admiral. He thought like a warrior. He wanted blood. The compact must be destroyed, Hajin declared when the fleet gathered for the first time. Every species that betrayed humanity must pay. This is not negotiable. I disagree, Do-hyun replied calmly. Hajin's response was cold. You are a mechanic, a slave. I carry the mind of Admiral Oh Hae-jun, who commanded 10,000 ships. You do not disagree with me. I just did. The fleet was divided. Some A's supported Hae-jun, others supported Do-hyun. For days, they argued about what to do. During this time, more humans found them. Word had spread through secret channels. Slaves who escaped, resistance fighters who survived, humans who had hidden their intelligence for years. Kang Junho arrived first. He was a massive man, nearly 2 meters tall, covered in scars. He had been a gladiator, forced to fight for alien entertainment. He had killed over 200 opponents before escaping. Now he became head of security. Lee Yuna came next. She was small and quiet, with sad eyes. An alien collector had kept her as a pet, showing her off to friends like an exotic animal. But secretly, she had studied every piece of technology in his collection. She became chief engineer. The youngest was Bae Min-seo. She was only 16. She had escaped from a breeding facility where humans were raised like livestock. Min-seo should have been broken. Instead, she was strange and wonderful. The ships responded to her in ways they did not respond to anyone else. The ships like her, Nari observed. I do not understand why. But when she touches their systems, they sing. Min-seo became a pilot. The best pilot any of them had ever seen. With the crew assembled, the fleet accessed all their combined archives. Finally, the full history of humanity emerged. 12,000 years ago, humans had ruled a third of the galaxy. They were not conquerors. They found primitive species and helped them grow. They taught them technology. They gave them medicine. They protected them from dangers they could not face alone. The species that would later form. The compact were once humanity's students. Humanity raised them like children. But some humans became corrupted by power. They began to treat other species as servants instead of partners. A civil war erupted. Human fought human while the galaxy watched. The compact species saw their chance. They pretended to support the good humans. Then, when both sides were weak, they struck. They used a biological weapon designed to kill only humans. Billions died in days. The survivors were scattered to primitive worlds. Their memories were erased. Their technology was destroyed. History was rewritten. The compact told the galaxy that humans were and had always been a primitive species, fit only for slavery. Earth was one of many seed worlds, where humans started over with nothing. This is why we must destroy them, HFY insisted. They committed genocide. They enslaved our descendants for thousands of years. Mercy is weakness. No, HFY said. If we destroy them, we become what they said we were. Monsters. Threats. We prove their lies true. Then, what do you suggest? Justice. Not revenge. We free our people. We reveal the truth. We give every species a choice to stand with us or against us. We do not become tyrants to defeat tyrants. HFY laughed bitterly. You are a fool. Maybe. But I am the fool who woke you all up. I am the fool who brought this fleet together. And I am the fool who will decide what we do with it. The fleet voted. It was close. Heartbreakingly close. But in the end, HFY's vision won. Justice, not revenge. HFY accepted the decision. He did not like it. But he was a soldier, and soldiers followed orders. As they prepared for the next phase, Nari received a priority alert. The compact knows where we are, she announced. They are coming. 10,000 ships. The largest fleet in galactic history. They will be here in 2 days. HFY looked at his 8 warships. 8 against 10,000. The numbers were impossible. But he had one more card to play. Nari, he said, set course for Earth. It is time to wake up the rest of our people. They sold me an armored warship for 7 credits. The galaxy regretted it. Part 4 was beautiful from space. Blue oceans. White clouds. Green lands. HFY had never seen his species' homeworld before. None of the freed humans had. They stood at the observation windows and cried. But Earth was also watched. The compact had built an observation station, hidden behind the moon. For centuries, they had monitored humanity. They had made sure the humans of Earth never developed too fast. Never discovered the truth. HFY disabled the station without killing anyone inside. Then the fleet revealed itself to the planet below. Every screen on Earth showed the same image. 8 massive warships appearing from nowhere, and a human face looking down at 7 billion people. My name is Park Do-yoon, he broadcast. I am human like you, but I bring news that will change everything you believe about yourselves and about the universe. He told them everything. The ancient empire. The betrayal. The genocide. The slavery of humans across the galaxy. He showed them proof from the ship archives. Star maps. Historical records. The faces of the species who had committed these crimes. Earth's reaction was chaos. Some leaders refused to believe. They called it a hoax, a trick, an alien invasion in disguise. Some religious groups said it was the work of demons. Some people rioted in the streets, terrified of what this meant, but many believed. They felt the truth in their bones. They had always known humanity was meant for more than one small planet. Now they understood why. The fleet landed on the far side of the moon. There, Nari guided them to something hidden beneath the surface. Something that had been waiting for 12,000 years. Bunkers. Massive underground facilities built before the fall. Inside, 10,000 warships sat in stasis. Their systems were dark but intact. They needed only pilots to wake them, And there was more dot in the deepest bunker. They found stasis pods. Thousands of them. Inside were actual ancient humans. Soldiers who had put themselves to sleep when the war was lost, hoping someday their descendants would find them. The awakening began. Admiral O'Hanuel was the first to open her eyes. She was tall and severe, with short gray hair and a face that seemed made of stone. She had commanded fleets. She had won battles. She had survived the genocide that killed billions. She looked at Do Yun with cold assessment. "You are the one who woke the ships," she said. "Not a question. I am. You were a slave, a laborer. You have no military training, no command experience. And you lead our fleet?" "I do. That is unacceptable. I am taking command." The ancient humans supported Hanuel. They saw Doyen as a well-meaning amateur. They saw his mercy as weakness. They wanted the compact to burn for what had been done. These species committed genocide, Hanuel argued before the assembled fleet. They enslaved our children for 12,000 years. They deserve extinction. They deserve justice, Dohyun countered. Not extinction. If we become genocidal ourselves, we prove everything they said about us was true. Their lies do not matter. Their deaths matter. And what about the species who were also enslaved by the compact? What about those who were conquered, who suffered alongside us? Do we punish them too for the crimes of their masters? Hanuel had no good answer for that. The debate lasted 3 days. Ancient humans against modern. Rage against restraint. During this time, the compact fleet drew closer. 10,000 ships. The 5 rulers of the compact watched from their command vessel, eager to end the human threat forever. Finally, a vote was called. Every human, ancient and modern, ship-eye and flesh and blood, had a voice. Jisoo spoke last. She stood before the assembly with her scars visible for all to see. "I hate them," she said, her voice shaking. "I hate them more than I have ever hated anything. They killed my parents. They worked my brother to death. They did things to me that I will never speak of. Every night, I dream of burning their worlds." She paused. Tears ran down her face. "But if I become what they are, then they win. If we become monsters to defeat monsters, then they win. My parents did not die so I could become a murderer. My brother did not suffer so I could make others suffer. I vote for justice, not because they deserve mercy, but because we deserve to be better." The vote was close, agonizingly close. But in the end, justice won by 7 votes. Hanuel accepted the decision. She did not apologize. She did not change her mind. But she was a soldier, and she would follow the will of her people. "You may be right," she told Do-Yun privately. "Or you may doom us all with your softness. History will judge." "History always judges," Do-Hyun replied. "I only hope we give it something worth remembering." The compact fleet arrived on the 5th day. 10,000 ships filled the space around Earth's solar system. Their weapons charged. Their commanders confident. The compact's 5 rulers broadcast a message. Surrender the ancient technology. Surrender the war criminals who attacked our ships. Do this, and Earth will be integrated peacefully into the compact. Refuse and your planet will burn. Do-Hyun looked at his fleet. 8 ancient warships. 10,000 ships from the lunar bunkers, crewed by ancient soldiers and modern volunteers. 18,000 against 10,000. For the first time, the numbers were in humanity's favor. But that was not all. Beneath the surface of Mars, shipyards began to open. The ancient humans had built backup facilities across the solar system. More ships, more weapons, more defenses. And Earth's moon began to move. It was not a moon at all. It had never been a moon. It was a battle station, placed in orbit 12,000 years ago, waiting for this moment. All weapons online, Nari announced. All ships reporting ready. Pilot, we are no longer running. Dahin sat in his captain's chair. Around him, screens showed the enemy fleet. Below, 7 billion humans watched from Earth, holding their breath. Open a channel, Dahin said. His face appeared on the compact flagship. The 5 rulers stared at him with a mixture of hatred and fear. You have one chance, Dahin told them. Surrender. Stand trial for your crimes. End the slavery of all species. Or face the consequences. The compact leader laughed. You are outnumbered. You are outgunned. You are a primitive species with stolen technology you barely understand. Dahin smiled. It was not a kind smile. We are humanity, he said. We built everything you have. We taught you everything you know. And now, we are going to show you what happens when the teachers come home. The channel closed. The Battle of Seoul began. They sold me an armored warship for 7 credits. The galaxy regretted it. Part 5. The battle was not a battle. It was a lesson. Compact ships fired everything they had. Missiles flew like swarms of angry insects. Energy beams cut through the darkness of space. For a moment, the human fleet was invisible behind walls of fire and light. When the smoke cleared, every human ship was still there. Not one had been scratched. Then the humans fired back. Dahin had given strict orders. No killing unless absolutely necessary. Target engines first. Then weapons. Then communications. Disable. Do not destroy. The ancient human weapons were precise beyond anything the compact had ever seen. Ships went dark in seconds. Fleets that had dominated the galaxy for millennia became drifting metal in minutes. Admiral Hanuel commanded the main battle group. She disagreed with Dahin's mercy, but she followed orders perfectly. Her ships cut through compact formations like a knife through water. More kills if we aimed for reactors, she muttered. But fewer problems later, I suppose. Jisoo led the Crimson Veil and a squadron of stealth ships. They appeared behind enemy lines, disabled command vessels, and vanished before anyone could respond. Yoonji, Jisoo said to her eye partner, remind me to thank Do-yoon for not letting me die angry. Noted, Yoonji replied, though I still think a few explosions would have been more satisfying. Young Minseo flew patterns that should have been impossible. She wove between enemy ships like they were standing still. The silent arrow responded to her thoughts faster than any pilot in history. She is remarkable, Myray told the other A's. I've never felt so alive. Even damaged Sujin fought. The broken promise stayed at the edge of battle, protecting escape pods and disabled vessels from both sides. We'll not let anyone die, Sujin said. Not again, never again. The compact fleet crumbled in 2 hours. 8,000 ships drifted powerless. The rest tried to flee. They did not get far. But the most important moment came not from human ships. A compact cruiser, its engines destroyed, sent a message. The crew wanted to surrender. Not just that. They wanted to switch sides. Then another ship. And another. And another. The compact slave species began to mutiny. The ones who worked the lower decks. The ones who did the fighting and dying while their masters gave orders from safe command rooms. They had heard Dahin's broadcasts. They had seen humans showing mercy to enemies who deserved none. We've been slaves too, one alien captain broadcast. We did not choose to fight you. They made us. Please, let us stand with you. Within an hour, 3,000 compact ships had surrendered. 1,000 had switched sides completely. The 5 compact rulers tried to run. Their flagship accelerated toward deep space, hoping to escape and rebuild. Jisoo caught them. The Crimson Veil appeared in front of the fleeing ship like a ghost. One shot disabled its engines. The rulers of the galaxy were trapped. Jisoo sat in a chair, looking at the vessel on her screens. Inside were the beings responsible for everything. The genocide, the slavery, her parents' deaths, her brother's suffering, her own scars. One shot. Just one shot, and they would be dead. Justice would be served. The galaxy would cheer. Her hand hovered over the weapons control. "Commander Yoonji said quietly. "Your orders?" Jisoo closed her eyes. She saw her mother's face, her father's smile, her brother's hand reaching for her as they were separated for the last time. What would they want her to do? "Disable their life support," she said. "Not enough to kill them, just enough to make them uncomfortable. Then tow them back to the fleet. Are you sure?" "No." Jisoo opened her eyes. They were wet with tears. "But I am doing it anyway." The compact rulers were captured alive. The battle was over. Humanity had won. In the weeks that followed, the galaxy changed forever. The compact collapsed. Without its leaders, the alliance of ruling species fell apart. Some surrendered immediately. Others tried to fight on and were defeated. A few tried to hide their crimes and were found. The slave species, dozens of different races, looked to humanity for guidance. They expected new masters. They were surprised by what they got. "We did not free you to rule you," Do-hyun announced to the galaxy. "You are free. Actually free. Build your own governments. Make your own choices. We will help if you ask, but we will not command you." Trials were held. The compact leaders faced judgment before a council of all the species they had oppressed. Humans did not judge alone. They judged together with every race that had suffered. The verdict was life imprisonment on a barren world. The rulers would survive, but they would have to work for their own food. They would have to sustain themselves through their own labor, as they had forced others to do for thousands of years. Hanyul objected. "Death would be simpler. Death would be merciful," Do-hyun replied. "They do not deserve mercy. They deserve exactly what they gave others." A new galactic council was formed. Every species had an equal voice. No single race would dominate. No single power would control. Humanity shared the ancient technology slowly, carefully, making sure no one could use it to become a new tyrant. Do-hyun was offered leadership 100 times. 100 times, he said no. "I am not a king," he told those who asked. "I am not an emperor. I am a mechanic who got lucky. Let someone better lead. I have other things to do." He went back to building ships. Not warships anymore. Exploration vessels. Trading ships. Transports to carry people to new homes on new worlds. Jisoo became the first human ambassador to the Galactic Council. She was still fierce. She still got angry. But she had learned to build bridges as well as burn them. Hanyul never fully agreed with Do-hyun, but she respected him. She spent her remaining years writing the true history of the ancient human empire, including all its mistakes. She wanted future generations to know the truth, including the parts that were shameful. "We were not perfect," she wrote. "We became corrupted. We earned our fall. Let our descendants be better than we were." Young Min Seo trained the next generation of pilots. She never fully understood why the ships loved her so much. She did not need to understand. She just flew. Junho became the head of a peacekeeping force that protected trade routes. Yuna designed new technologies that were shared freely with all species. The crew of the Silent Fury scattered across the galaxy, each finding their own purpose. And the ships themselves? The Ancient A's were given a choice. They could remain warships or they could be rebuilt as something else. They all chose exploration. Nri was the last to decide. She had waited 12,000 years for a human pilot. She had found one. She had helped change the galaxy. What else was there to do? "I want to see what is out there," she told Do-yoon on her last day as a warship. Beyond the maps, beyond the known. I want to discover instead of destroy. Then go, Do-yoon said. Find wonders. Come back and tell me about them. Years passed, decades. The galaxy healed slowly. Old hatreds faded. New friendships formed. Children grew up never knowing what slavery felt like. One evening, Do-yoon stood on an observation deck of a civilian station, watching ships come and go. He was old now. His hair was white. His hands still rough from years of work. Jisoo joined him. She was old too. They had grown old together, not as lovers, but as family. The only kind of family either of them had ever really known. Any regrets? She asked. Thousands, he said. But not about the things that mattered. Do you think we did it right? Changed the galaxy, I mean. Do-yoon watched a young alien child run past them, laughing. A human child chased after, both of them playing some game that needed no words. I think we gave it a chance, he said. That is all anyone can do. Far away, beyond the borders of known space, an exploration vessel sailed through uncharted stars. Its hull was silver now, not the black of a warship. Its weapons had been removed. In their place were sensors and laboratories and gardens. NAR. I watched a new star system appear on her screens. No enemies here. Only wonder. Captain's log, she recorded. Final entry from the original Silent Fury designation. I was built for war. I waited 12,000 years for a pilot who would teach me something else. Today, I discovered a new star system. There are no enemies here. Only possibility. Only hope. This is what we were always meant to be. She paused, remembering a junkyard moon. A tired human with 7 credits. A price tag that changed the galaxy. The Compact sold that ship for 7 credits. They thought they were selling scrap. They thought humans were nothing. They were wrong. We were always something. We just needed to remember. The vessel sailed on into the unknown. The galaxy regretted its mistake, Nari continued. But humanity? We got exactly what we paid for. The stars stretched out forever before her. A second chance. End.